I had the squirrel on. All right. How's it going out there, folks? This is Rebel Rock Radio. We're back from our holiday hiatus. Well, one of us is. So the original plan was we were going to do our Skeleton Crew catch up. We were going to do a show and recap episodes 3, 4, and 5. Wait a minute. No, 4, 5, and 6. But as you know, JD is a lineman, an electrical lineman, and he got called into work because of some bad weather in the area. So he had to call in sick, as it were. So I scrambled and decided we're not going to do our catch up for Skeleton Crew. We'll save that for next week. And instead of just canceling the show, I figured we'd go ahead and usher in the new year with a welcome to 2025 show. So, to assist me in today's endeavor, or tonight's endeavor, and ushering in the new year, I have a special guest. He has been on the show before, and he is often in the chat. Everybody, welcome to Rebel Rock Radio, our friend Spencer.
Hey!
And Spencer is from the Dingus Den. For all those new folks, Spencer, why don't you tell them about the Dingus Den?
Yeah, the Dingus Den is my little corner of the internet where I do all sorts of different stuff on there. I like to do a bit of comic stuff. That's the main focus over there. And so you've been on there quite a bit for 2 or 3 episodes of Daily Dingus where we talk about comic news and whatnot. So I hope to bring that back sooner than later. There's also, yeah, exactly. Then there's also the main videos I do is I put out comic clubs talking about issue or story arc of different comics and whatnot. So yeah, big comic centric channel over there.
Very cool. It's all good stuff. We will put a link to the YouTube channel in the show description so you can go check that out at your leisure. Well, let's see who we've got in the chat room so far. We have CEO Star Wars Non-Toxic Alliance, aka Taco Cat. Welcome to the show, sir. And we have Matthew from Enid, Oklahoma. Hello, nerd. And we have Steve Spawn, also known as Steve number 2 in the Discord chat. And then we have Zombie Hunter. Welcome back to the chat room, sir. And no chat room is complete without Tina. How's it going, Tina?
Exactly.
And then Joy has returned to the chat room, so good to see her. Joy, as you know, is the creator of the rocks for JD and I. So
fantastic.
Thank you very much. And I think that is all we have in here so far. So thanks for coming into the chat room tonight. So tonight we do have a little bit of news we're going to talk about. We're going to show our thingies here in a little while. And then when we get to our main topic, basically we're just going to be doing a kind of what's coming in 2025. Tina says 2025 is not too bad yet. I don't want to return it yet.
Yet is the key word right there.
Yeah. So, it's been a few weeks since we've done a show. We were on holiday for the Christmas week as well as the week of New Year's. So anything interesting in your life popped up in the last few weeks, Spencer?
Last few weeks, I've just been glad to have a chill break, from all my classes and stuff. I've been taking an online course, but that's like super easy, super chill compared to all the other stuff that usually have to do. And so I've just been glad to take it, kick it easy for a few weeks. I'll have to return next week.
Yeah, so you will be back in school next week.
Yeah.
What classes are you taking this next semester?
Nothing fun. Well, maybe one thing, but one's a calculus class and others a physics class, and so getting those out of the way
That does not sound fun.
Yeah. The only one I'm looking forward to is the one related with my programming stuff.
There you go. That's good stuff.
We'll see what happens.
Salacious Rum in the house. What's up, sir? So let's see. What have I been in? I mean, it's been a few weeks. Yeah. Still haven't found a job, so that kind of sucks. Still looking for work. Over the Christmas week, we went up to Michigan to go visit the family. Comic book fan, welcome to the chat. Thanks for coming.
It's a good buddy of mine. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, I went to Michigan and we came back. But yeah, spent some time up there with the daughter and the son-in-law and the grandkids and all that, and had our Christmas up there. So that was good times. Visited a comic book shop while I was there, so that was lots of fun. So yeah, I did Christmas, and then since I've been back, man, I've been just feel like I've been really non-productive. Yeah. No, Joy, I did not check out Max's Hideaway. I was actually only in Grand Rapids one of the days that I was there. I went up there, I think it was like the day after we got there. I drove to, like, my daughter and her family lives in a town called Muskegon, which isn't really far from Grand Rapids, but I wanted to spend more time with them instead of like running around in Grand Rapids. But I went to Grand Rapids. I went and visited a buddy and had lunch with him at a place called Founders, which is basically a pub and grill place. Makes some really good sandwiches. Did that, and then I went to the comic book shop and hung out. Actually, you know what? Come think of it, I went to the comic book shop before I had lunch. And then after that, after I got done with lunch, I met with my daughter and her family at a mall. And now I can't remember the name of the mall. It's in Grand Rapids, but I mean, it was Christmas week, so that was a nightmare. Joy says she has a cousin who lives in Muskegon. Yeah. So when I lived in Michigan, I lived in a town called Whitehall, which is not too far from Muskegon. Much, much smaller though. But yeah, I spent Christmas in there. And then, like I was saying, I've been really feeling non-productive since I got back. I mean, other than looking for jobs. I finally started doing some comic book reading. I wasn't doing any comic book reading for a while. I just wasn't feeling like reading anything, but I finally started reading. Ubaldo, welcome to the show again. Welcome to the chat, sir. But other than that, I've been playing video games a lot.
Nice.
One of the things I got for Christmas was a PlayStation gift card. And the reason I got a PlayStation gift card instead of an Xbox gift card is because there is a game that, for lack of a better way to explain it, I basically bought the PS5 to play this game and never bought it. But see, I bought it before the game was released. And then it was released, and then I just never bought it because it was too expensive. Because I don't like spending $80 on video games.
Gaming is not a cheap hobby. That's
not.
for sure.
So I was waiting for the cost to go down, and just I didn't keep my eye on it, and I never got around to buying it. And so I got this gift card, and I have bought it. And when I went to the PlayStation Store, so just for FYI, my PS5 is a digital only, so I have to buy it on the PlayStation Store. I can't just go buy a used copy. So anyway, so I went to buy it. When I went to go buy it with my gift card, turns out it was on sale, and now I have money left over on my gift card. So
nice.
So that's cool. So I've been playing that game, and it is about Spider-Man 2. So I've been playing that, and I have been tag teaming between that game and another game that I just kind of got a wild hair to start playing again was Mass Effect.
Oh, okay.
So I've been on a replay of that.
Nice.
So I've just kind of been bouncing between those two.
Very nice.
And then my grandson is really obsessed with Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
So I will often jump on the Xbox and play Minecraft with him. Because you can play it online.
Right.
So interesting. But yeah, other than that, I haven't been really doing anything.
How far are you into Spider-Man?
Not very far.
Okay.
Have you played Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, I played it when it came out. It's really exciting.
The last sequence that I just finished was at Coney Island.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
When the hunters took out Tombstone.
Got you. Know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm slow at it because I tend to do a lot of side missions.
Yeah. I try to remember how much side stuff I did along the way, but it's hard to not be distracted in that game.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, I really like that franchise of video games is very high on my list of video game franchises.
It's done really well.
Like I loved the first one, and the Miles Morales one is really cool too. So
yeah.
So yeah, so far I'm really liking the game.
Awesome.
So all right. Well, I guess it's time to jump into some news. Well, StreamYard has changed where everything is right now. So there we go. It is time for some Rebel Rock news. I still don't have a musical intro for that. So Rebel Rock news. All right. We've actually got a good amount of news to discuss. Why don't we go ahead and start with the one that you sent me about the pinball machine? If you want.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you're actually going to include that or not.
Let's go ahead and talk about that one.
That was really interesting because I was just trying to remember what big stuff that you might want to bring up before that the stuff you talk about. And I'm trying to actually find that article myself here. You see here the lead singer from My Chemical Romance voices among, it says, other celebrities in here, including Critical Role in a $7,000 pinball D&D themed machine. That's crazy. And then there's $7,000 is crazy expensive, but then there's other editions too. One's nearly $10,000, and then there's another one that's $13,000 for a D&D pinball machine.
For a pinball machine,
that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, obviously part of the this is
I mean, yeah, if pinball machines are your thing, then okay, but
Critical Role's Matthew Mercer, Laura Bailey, and Marisha Ray's in it, as well as Michael Dorn, Kevin Smith, Luke Gygax, Chris Prynowski, Brendan Small, Anthony Carboni, and Micah Burton.
so these are all people that are voicing it.
They have voice roles on this pinball machine, supposedly, or somehow
Interesting.
appear with it, which is very, very intriguing. Yeah, good God is right, Dina. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks pretty cool for a pinball machine. I mean, if I ever saw one, I'd play it, but I'm not sure of anything beyond that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So the first piece of news that I have, and actually hadn't really thought of including this one because I honestly don't remember how old this news is. It feels like it's more than a week old, but maybe not. Maybe things are just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But this is comic book related ish, but also movie related.
Sure.
Jason Momoa, who was DC's Aquaman, has been cast as Lobo in the upcoming Supergirl movie. So I guess what that means is that Aquaman is not canon.
Right.
So, which I'm fine with. I didn't care for that universe's Aquaman.
Sure.
Wasn't a fan. But I did like Jason Momoa in Dune.
He's pretty good in that.
He was good in that. So I mean, I can see him as Lobo. If any of you folks out there are not familiar with Lobo, he is an alien.
Oh, sure.
I can't remember the name of the species.
It's like Curzonian or something like that.
Weird, hard to pronounce one. But actually, I should have thought about this ahead of time.
Sorry,
dang it,
I'm trying to remember what that thing. I know it starts with a C.
Yeah, he is. Let's see. He is a scissor. I can't pronounce it. Caesarian.
Caesarian, yeah.
Yeah. So here is. Dang it, I'm trying to get a picture of him pulled up here. Here we go. I'm not going to bother downloading it. I'm just going to share the screen. There we go. So there is Lobo from the comics.
Yeah.
So kind of looks like Jason Momoa, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
he already has the physique for sure.
Yeah, he's got the physique. He's got the long hair. I think he'll do a good job.
I know Momoa has been very passionate about this character for years. Like even before he got the role of Aquaman, he's been wanting to play Lobo. That was like one of the main comics, if not comics, that he would collect is stuff with Lobo. And so I think it's awesome to see him getting his dream role that he's had for probably over at least a decade, if not longer, by how it sounds like with him.
I mean, I can see him more as Lobo than I can as ever could see as Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because when they first said that he was going to be Aquaman, I'm like, what? What?
Interesting. Quite interesting, indeed.
Makes no sense at all. Why was he Aquaman? Yeah, so that's news. Jason Momoa is going to be in, and again, remember, this is going to be in the Supergirl movie. Lobo is not getting his own movie.
See, that's an interesting bit of news. I don't know if you know about this. So, the Supergirl is based from the. I don't know if the full title is actually Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow or not, but that's what comic it's based from.
Yeah.
And That was written by Tom King, and Tom King came out a year or two ago saying that he actually wanted Lobo in that original story, but DC wouldn't let him because of DC's just kind of like at this. Lobo's at the status of like being like his own character now, so he couldn't use Lobo at the time.
I mean, I have read that book. I enjoy that book.
Yeah.
I could see Lobo in that book.
Yeah. Definitely. See, Tina's absolutely right, though. She was saying Zach casted Jason Momoa for Aquaman to make Aquaman cool, right? Like, that's absolutely like what happened and brought a big general audience appeal. Like, you know what's crazy is I think out of all the DCU movies, Aquaman made the most money out of all of them.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
And you don't have to make Aquaman. I don't know. He's Aquaman.
He's Aquaman.
He's Aquaman.
I mean, that's the thing, though, is he was a laughing stock of the DC universe until I feel like that new version that he brought to life.
Yeah,
and people brought it, made
like
it
that
more
version, though. I mean, I actually like the regular version of Aquaman more. But that's just me. I'm sure there's people out there that like Aquaman. Jason Momoa's Aquaman, but
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Tina, the first one was actually not bad. I don't think the first one was that bad a movie. I just didn't like him as Aquaman. It just didn't make any sense. He didn't, like, in all of the movies, like the Justice League movie and in Aquaman, it just didn't capture for me the character Aquaman.
It's definitely different.
It was just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. All right, moving on. The next piece of news that I have, and everything else in the news is going to be Star Wars related. But this one is not. So this is actually a rumor, but it is. I'm not sure how much of a rumor you can believe this, but there has been a report suggesting that Microsoft is going to release its next generation console in 2026. And there is a new Call of Duty game that's going to be released alongside it. The system, based on these rumors or these reports, it's going to be called Xbox Prime.
See, I haven't heard about the name, but I've heard about this rumor, and what's interesting about it is it's from, I guess, somebody specifically known to leak Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah.
But then somebody that knows more about Microsoft stuff is saying this isn't true. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean,
we'll see what happens.
What's interesting about this is the timing for a new console next year would make sense given how long the life cycles are for these consoles. If you compare how long 360 was around and how long the Xbox One was around and all that. And so like it makes sense. But you have to also keep in mind too, there's definitely a lot of factors. I feel like this is a really weird gaming generation overall, but that's like a whole other conversation there. But you have to also keep in mind an important factor though of COVID pushed every industry back by a year or two. So
sure, yeah, for sure. So I think what Microsoft is doing is just trying to get a head start on the next PlayStation. Yeah. Which I feel like that one is coming too early.
Yeah, it's really weird. What's interesting too is in Xbox One, there was halfway or a little over halfway. I don't remember exactly how far down the life cycle, but I remember you have those different models, right? You have those Xbox, or you have the regular Xbox One, They then came out with like the One S, which was like the standard version of that, where they also came out with the Xbox One X, which is like the upgraded version of that. And we just saw like the equivalent of that from PlayStation with a PS5 Pro. What I find interesting though is last year Phil Spencer, who runs the Xbox division, he came out hinting at a Xbox mid-gen refresh, and we haven't had anything like that. Because when he said that, I would think this is the new version of like what an Xbox, like what the Xbox One X was, but for the Series X. So we haven't had anything like that because all we've gotten so far is Series X and the Series S from the launch, which are and aren't like two different consoles.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and I think, hey, Andrew and Smirking Bear. How's it going?
Welcome in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned it earlier, Smirking Bear, but JD is doing some lineman work because of some bad weather that hit up there in Kansas. So we are swapping things around today. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? What was I going to say? I had something else I was going to say about the Xbox. Oh, another part of that report says that the name, the Xbox Prime, is just kind of a code word or a code name. And I lied. Actually, there is another piece of news that we were going to chat about before we got into the Star Wars news. I just forgot to put it on my links.
Oh, gotcha.
But Spencer, you were mentioning some movies.
Yes.
Confirmed at CES 2025.
Yes.
Some movies that are video game adaptations.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find. Okay, so here is looking through the list here. We've got Last of Us season 2.
Well, it just got a release window of April. So for any fans who watched that, did you watch Last of Us?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So season 2 of that's in April now. Excited for that. I haven't played the second game yet, and I know this is adapting at least part of that game.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to play through that before this comes out.
So apparently there is a trailer for it already.
Yes.
So you can find that one on YouTube.
Yes.
And then there is a Horizon Zero Dawn movie happening.
Yes.
I have never played that game, but I kind of wanted to. It just never got around to it.
Yeah. I played through the first one, and supposedly this is an adaptation of that first one. So we'll see what happens, which should be interesting. I think it would be cool, though, because it involves the big robots and stuff. So it could be a cool movie.
Yeah, so that is going to be a feature film. Another one hitting theaters in April is Until Dawn.
Yeah, do you know what Until Dawn is?
I've never even heard of it.
Do you know what like Telltale games are?
Isaac, how's it going? Yeah, I actually played a Batman Telltale game.
So it's like a horror story that's like those, I'd say, or similar-ish. It definitely has its differences, but like as far as like comparing it as to what kind of game it is, it's one of those story games, horror game where you try to see how many people you can make survive, and so. But yeah, this is like this one's not an adaptation per se, though. It's more like another like part of the story or another side of the story with a recurring character. So see what happens. I never played much of Until Dawn just because I'm not a big horror person, not my kind of game. But
yeah, me neither. Not really. Yeah. There's also going to be a movie based on the game Helldivers 2.
That'll be interesting.
I've never heard of either one of these, actually.
Helldivers 2?
I haven't even heard of Helldivers 1.
Well, Helldivers 2 was a big game that came out last year in, I want to say February. And it actually just won 2 Game of the Year awards. Or not Game of the Year, but two awards at the Game Awards for like best multiplayer title and best some
That is
other
probably why I don't play a lot of multiplayer games.
Yeah, the whole premise is that you're like in a squad. I mean, you can play by yourself, but we're up to 3 other people. You go around and you fight like either like bugs, so it's very much like Starship Troopers, or you go around fighting robots. It gives me like Terminator vibes, and or they also just added like these like zombies threats. But anyway, it was a huge game that came out last year, and so we'll see what happens with that.
So Judy says that she can't wait for the Sims movie.
A Sims movie.
Oh, she's joking.
Joking. See, that could happen though, you know? We're in an age where a lot of video games are starting to get adaptations, either good or bad now, you know?
Like Minecraft is coming out this year.
Oh God. That movie looks awful.
Crunchyroll is putting out a Ghost of Tsushima anime set for 2027.
So this is actually what I'm most excited for. What I realize that doesn't say here, but that name directed by Takunobu Mizuno. He's actually the person who directed and visions The Duel.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good episode.
That was my favorite episode. I absolutely loved that episode, and so just to see him behind Ghost of Tsushima, which is honestly one of my favorite ever PlayStation games. To tell you how much I like this game, I would personally put Ghost of Tsushima above Spider-Man. It's a great game, and so I'm very excited to see what he's going to do with it, because he's proven himself with Star Wars for me, and so seeing how he's going to tackle Ghost of Tsushima is very exciting to me.
I have not played this game. I actually want to. So when I am done with Spider-Man, I'm gonna actually I probably should do it now just to see if it's on sale. And see if I have enough money left on my gift card to play that game. And because let's see, what is it called? Ghost of
Tsushima. What you want is they put out a director's cut version, but I can't.
Okay, here it is.
Oh, how much it is, because
there's a Legends version.
That's a multiplayer addition to it. It's not them.
Nope, never mind. Get off of there. Okay. PS4 and PS5. Okay, director's cut. The director's cut. I do not have enough on my gift card. Is that they only have a director's cut, I guess?
That's the main thing you'd play on PS5, because they re-released it for PS5, where it includes the DLC and everything. So ideally, that's what you'd want to get.
Well, I guess I won't be playing that one anytime soon. I do want to play this game. But yeah, it's still like $70, so I won't be playing that one.
I think it's on if you ever get around to subbing to their service where you can play the extra games. I think it's on there as well.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm already on Game Pass.
Yeah. A lot of the games.
Oh, what crap, where'd it go? There we go. One of 5 people who actually bought the Star Wars Sims pack. Okay. I don't think I've actually ever played a Sims game.
I actually haven't either. I know they're huge, but I've never played them.
Yeah, I know they're very popular. But yeah, I have not played any of them. Okay, so we have one more piece of news. I had some others, but I'm going to kind of wrap them into our main topic tonight.
Okay.
But I do have one piece of Star Wars news, and this one is kind of a segue from video game into TV. Sure. There are reports out there that Lucasfilm is developing a Star Wars series based on Knights of the Old Republic.
That's interesting, if true.
So this is coming from a from an insider named, I don't even know what that means, an insider named Daniel Richman. But it is being set in the Knights of the Old Republic era, which would be great.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And I've actually seen this in various places. The first time I saw it was on Geeky Rant. And then I saw it again on Star Wars News or Star Wars Newsnet.com. So two different places. So Star Wars News.net is pretty reputable.
Right. I mean, the main point of it, though, is it's from the Daniel, where he says a bunch of stuff. I know he's like, I mean, none of these, whatever you want to call them, leakers, insiders, whatever you want to call them, are always 100% right. But he's gotten like, I haven't seen his, like, I don't know like his track record right offhand, but like, I know he said a lot of stuff about Marvel stuff specifically. Some of it being right, some of it being incorrect. You know, he does have some sort of reputation for sure. And so we'll see.
Yeah, I agree, Isaac. Kotor was special.
Sure.
That whole era is really it's really interesting. I really like that era. And that is actually all of the news that I have.
Actually, but before we move on, how would you feel if they adapted KOTOR into a show, though? Like, do you think it'd be good? Do you think there's too much that you could screw up? Like, how do you feel about that?
I would prefer they just did something in the era and not necessarily the story.
Yeah.
I kind of like them. I would really rather they keep that the way it is.
Yeah. Well, you know, I who knows if it's still happening or not, because there's been a bunch of stuff like rumors with it, but you know, supposedly we might be. Who knows actually if we're getting a KOTOR remake or not? And so, like, if that game actually happens, like, it'd be awesome. But then it'd be kind of weird if, like, that also turns into a show. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens. Keanu would need to be Revan. Not so sure about that one. No.
All right. Well, that's all we have for the news tonight. Which brings us to, if I can get the, why do they gotta move things? Okay. Which brings us to show and tell time. But before we get into show and tell, Tina wants to know who's going to play. Play Bastilla, and then says she needs to have a nice ass. So,
oh my gosh!
You know, I mean, not because of the ass comment, but the person who I think could probably play a pretty good Bastilla would be Rebecca Ferguson.
That's an interesting pick.
For those that don't know, Rebecca Ferguson played Lady Jessica in the Dune movies.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a solid pick. I'm terrible at fan casting, so I don't know who I'd pick, but I like that pick though.
She needs to have that Bo-Katan cake. All right, enough of that. Okay, now it's time to show off our thingies.
Thingies.
So I've got a few things to show off.
Okay.
So how many do you have?
4.
Okay, so we can actually kind of tag team this one because I've got 4 as well.
Cool.
So why don't you go ahead and start, and then I'll.
All right. Well, all of mine are different comics.
Are all what?
Are all comics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Four thingies. Yes, exactly, bro. 4 thingies.
Yeah, 4 thingies.
I got other comics than these, but they were just kind of like the main ones that I was really wanting. That I was glad I got. So I decided you know what, I'll show off these. And so first one is the Crow special edition. Very nice hardback. I actually never watched The Crow until last year for my first time when they did their special. Was it 30th anniversary? I think for that movie.
Yeah.
And
I went to the theater and saw that one.
So I went to check it out, and in front of it, they played a special featurette, and it was talking about the behind the scenes making of it, and also during that they talked about the comic art of it, and the black and white imagery of what's in this comic here stood out to me, and ever since I saw the movie, I've been wanting to pick it up, and so got a very nice hardcover special edition of it. Really good quality and everything in here, so very glad.
Cool. Yeah, I saw that movie originally in the theater when it came out, but then I saw that dates me. I'm old. But yeah, I saw it on the 30th anniversary. Has it been 30 years? It was. Now I gotta look that up.
It wasn't 30. I that was just a number that came. Yeah, 1994.
It's been that long. Now I got to do some math. God damn, that's been 30 years since that movie came out in theaters. I am fucking old. Okay, so my first is I did get a comic, but I'm gonna save that one. The first one is the only Funko Pop that I got for Christmas, and what I got was Roy Kent from Ted Lasso. If you're a big Ted Lasso fan.
Nice.
Roy Kent. Heck yeah. Yeah, Tina, Tina says she graduated high school in 94. I graduated in 90. So Roy Kent, Funko Pop. I have not found a Ted Lasso Funko Pop, but I'm keeping my eyes out. Joy says that she saw it in the theater when it came out, but has not. I have not seen the remake either. I saw the trailer for the remake, and I'm not interested.
I heard it's awful, so I don't really want to.
Yeah, and I mean, I usually like to make my own judgment calls. I don't follow critics, but I have heard a lot of people say that it's just a bad remake. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, the thing about The Crow too is it's very much one of those one and done stories. They tried to make all these sequels from it originally, and it's just very obviously when you watch it, it's a one and done story. They did it great the first time. I mean, I get it. It's been 30 years since you've done it, but even then, they just supposedly did an awful job with it. So I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, even the original, it didn't need the sequels. I didn't care for the sequels.
That's what I've heard. I've heard to just not really bother, so I haven't.
All right. Well, let's see our next one.
All right. Here's actually, I know, a Superman story you've told me I should check out. Superman Birthright. Nice hardcover edition of it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, written by Mark Waid, who's actually coming to town in a couple months, so might get him to sign this. I don't know. But yeah, very excited to delve into the Superman story. What?
Is it
yeah, it's a nice hardcover. It's still in the plastic wrap here. Nice hardcover.
Yeah, get him to sign it.
Deluxe edition of it here. So don't know. if there's anything too special about it other than being hardcover there, but
Yeah.
it's a very nice hardcover.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good story. Good story. My next one is not the comic book, but it is comic book related.
All right.
And it is. I actually showed this on the most recent episode of the Batcave, which I'll actually talk about here in a little bit. And it is a Batman Light. I have not taken it out of the box yet, but your options are that I can mount it on my desk and just have it stand there, or I can put it on the wall, which is what I think I'm actually going to do.
I like it.
But I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, so I don't know what it looks like. I will have to make sure that once I get this put up, I will either do a quick like YouTube short or just take pictures of it. I don't know. Anyway.
Something.
But yeah, so big Batman fan. So
I mean, the picture looks nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing what it will look like.
Well, here I can tie into yours there. With because I know I mentioned this to you as I got
good Lord.
The Road to No Man's Land.
See, that's not even No Man's Land. That's the Road to
Road to. This is crazy to think because each of there's 2 omnibuses of No Man's Land if you were to collect it physically that are about as big as this, I think. Yeah. So to think this is only a third of it and it's the Road to. Look at how big that is.
Yeah.
It's freaking crazy big.
No Man's Land is a very long story arc.
I mean, even just reading this Road 2, it's going to be in breaks. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. Good story. That's I'm interested to know what your feelings on that one are.
I've been wanting to read it, so I'm excited to at least start it.
I am going to go ahead and show my one comic book.
All right.
That I got for Christmas, and it is a hardcover. So this is a book that I really enjoy a lot.
Okay.
And have owned, but I've never owned a hardcover copy of it. So my daughter and son-in-law actually got this for me.
Ooh, Hush.
Batman Hush 20th anniversary edition.
Ooh.
So nice hardcover there. This is the cover here, and if you take off the leaf, it's got a very interesting cover.
Oh, that's awesome. With that edition, is there anything like special that they added onto it, like beginning or end?
I've only like cracked it open to look at the artwork because I remember how much I really love the artwork in this book.
It's Jim Lee. Come on, guys.
It's Jim Lee, and it's beautiful, man. It's so there are a lot of variant covers and a bunch of like draft panels in here.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like there's a lot of notes.
That's cool.
It appears from Jeff Loeb.
What I really like is when they make these editions full of the extra like content and stuff there, or like making of stuff in the end. It's really neat whenever you take the time to look at those. So
interestingly enough, when I was at that comic book shop in Grand Rapids, I saw I'd already gotten this this hardcover edition, but what I saw in the comic book shop, but it was extremely expensive, was this. The Hush Saga Omnibus.
I've seen that around.
And it is huge. It is 1,243 pages long. I want to see. I took a picture of it while I was in
See, I've never looked into what's like, even though I've seen that around, I've never looked into what's in that. Because obviously they call it the Hush saga. So, like, what else
Yeah.
is in that saga than the base Hush story?
Okay, so let me see if I can share.
See, there's a bunch of other issues listed here, but I don't know the significance of any of those.
Yeah, it's not going to let me screen share this. So,
oh, the Hush 20th anniversary edition includes a short story that's also in this omnibus.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, this omnibus is really huge. Like it's I'll have to show you a picture of it later, Spencer. It's just
Think it's bigger than my Batman? They're both pretty big.
Oh, might be about the same.
Let me see here. Well, wait. You said
It's almost 1,300 pages long.
Let me see how many pages is in this. Oh, that's not the right one.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm trying to find a page account here. So 1,248 pages. So I guess a tiny bit thicker then.
Just a little bit, yeah. But there is a lot of the omnibus has got a lot of extra stuff in it, and it's
It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks so. But yeah, it was almost $200. So
was it really?
Yeah, it was like 179 or something like that. It's great. I mean, you can get it cheaper online somewhere, but
see, that's the thing. Is much love to the local comic shops, but I can't. If Amazon's selling one for like nearly half the price, I'll go with that. I'd rather use that extra half I'm nearly saving at the local comic shop then, like that's how I look at it there.
Yeah, if it's half, then yeah, but if it's only a few dollars cheaper, then
right, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that is number 3 in my 4. So what is your number 4?
My number 4 is actually another omnibus, but it's the main one I was wanting, and that is this DC versus Marvel, one of 2 omnibuses they did. This is like the main one because they crossed over a lot, and these haven't been printed since like together since like the 90s.
Yeah,
and so
I love that. I actually really love that story. I want that omnibus.
This is only 1 or 2, so this is like all their basic crossovers. They did another omnibus for all the amalgam stuff, which I'd like to get my hands on as well. We'll see. See what happens with those, though.
So, okay, my number 4 is actually Star Wars related, and I just realized that I lied. I said that my Roy Kent was my only Funko Pop. I forgot that this was actually a Funko Pop, but it's a very large Funko Pop.
Okay.
So,
oh my gosh.
It is.
Oh.
Jabba the Hutt and Salacious Crumb.
Oh, that looks like a lot like Rum to me on there that you have,
Yeah, it looks a little like him, doesn't it?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got
big.
2 new Funko Pops to add to my Funko Pop collection. Nice. Funky says, "Nice thingy." Yeah. So there we have it, folks. We just showed you our thingies. All right. Well, what do we have next? All right. Well, folks, if you want to check us out on social media, there are many, many places that you can find us. But for you one-stop shoppers, all you got to do is go to one link. That link is bio.link/Rebel Rock Radio. That will take you to all our links, including our YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to for sure.
Absolutely.
And that will also take you to all our social media. So like Twix and Facebook and Discord and what else we got? Instagram, all those social media sites. It'll take you there. It'll take you to our merchandise page, where you can buy shirts and coffee mugs, and I don't remember what else is on there. And it will also take you to a very important link, and that link is our Patreon. So, if you would like to support us financially, you can do so by going to our Patreon, and you can, for only $2 a month, support our endeavors here and help us pay our StreamYard bill. You get exclusive content such as our Star Wars RPG that we play. Well, it was every other week, but with holidays and all, we've had to push things. But we have four, besides myself, there were four of us that are playing. Once this campaign goes away, we will be doing another campaign, and that will also be a Patreon exclusive. We also have some patron early release content. So this is content that eventually shows up on our YouTube channel, but our patrons get first look at it. The first one of that is our Batcave series, which my son Blue and I discuss all things Batman related. Nice. We have a lot of fun on there. We just finished recording a few days ago. We recorded an episode where we ranked Batman suits through the ages. Okay. That was a lot of fun. We play some games on there. We talk about Batman news. We talk about Batman comics, and we have all kinds of Batman stuff going on over there. In fact, the Batcave will be hosting its first live episode. I want to say it's going to be on the 15th. So keep your eyes peeled to our social media, because we will announce it when I have that locked down. I'm not going to tell you what the topic is, but it's going to be a really interesting topic. It's going to be about a movie. I'll give you that. That's all I'm going to tell you. But yeah, that's going to be live, and that's so we're doing one live just to kind of get people drawn in and see what it is we do, and hopefully get more people coming over to the Patreon to get the early access of that stuff. And the other series that we have that is patron early release is kind of related to that one. Instead of Batman, we talk about Superman and all Superman related stuff. And that is titled Kryptonian Chronicles. That is actually me and JD. We talk about Superman stuff. We will be having some guests on the show at some point. But our next episode, we're actually going to review the comic book Absolute Superman #1.
Ooh.
And talk about that. So it is a lot of fun. And again, you can get that for just $2 a month. You get all the early content. You get the exclusive content. You get, if I can get this off here, you get some stickers.
Ooh.
You get a sticker pack. And any other exclusive content that hits, which we do have some plans for, you'll get that. But no, Bear, nobody will get a free t-shirt.
Terrible.
We do not give away t-shirts. Nice try, though. But yeah, if you are interested in getting on there and becoming a Patreon, you can, or a patron rather, you can just go to that same link, bio.link/Rebel Rock Radio, and it will take you to our Patreon page. Or, if you want, you can just go to patreon.com/Rebel Rock Pod, and that'll take you there as well. But,
Very nice.
We do appreciate those that are already patrons. And another goodie that you get is we will give you a shout out on our live stream. So that is what I'm going to do now. I would like to thank everybody who is currently a patron now. We have Dave Brown. We have Kelly and Chris Olson. We've got Justin Hensley, Charlie Kirby, Chantel, Matthew, who I think was in the chat earlier, but I haven't seen him. And then we have Steve Swan, who is in the chat with us. So those are our current patrons, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for supporting us, and tell your friends, get more patrons, so that I can pay my StreamYard bill. And that is it for that. I think we're ready for our main topic. So we are going to welcome in 2025. And what better way to usher in 2025 but with a recap of 2024. Specifically, I'm going to recap. I thought of some other things that I wanted to do, but I decided to kind of confine this to movies of 2024.
Okay. Sure.
So specifically, we're gonna chat very briefly about some of the highest grossing films of 2024.
Okay.
Now, the highest grossing film of 2024, you would think, was Deadpool and Wolverine.
I knew it wasn't, but yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy that is not number one, but it is actually number two.
Makes sense once you know what number one is. But
So Deadpool and Wolverine brought in $1.3 billion worldwide, but edging that out by about $0.3 billion was Inside Out 2.
I gotta say though, Inside Out 2 was really good though. So
I did see that. I liked it. I cannot believe that it is the highest grossing film of the year.
It's a kids movie. You got to think of it that way. It's a kids movie. So,
but yeah, it raked in $1.6 billion.
It's pretty crazy.
Almost 1.7. It's just barely not 1.7.
That's crazy.
And then, of course, number two was Deadpool and Wolverine. Number three was Despicable Me 4.
Does not deserve to be that high at all. That movie was
I would have to agree with you. I did watch it. I don't think it's number three material.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tina says she's expecting Dune. Bear said Inside Out was good. I liked it. I liked Inside Out too. It was good. Number four is actually a movie that I have not seen, and it is Moana 2.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that either. I'm gonna wait on Disney Plus for that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for Disney Plus. I liked the first one. Not enough to make me want to go see it in the theater, though.
I agree. Like I didn't even see the first one when it came out. I don't think I watched Moana on a plane ride to be like, oh yeah, I should probably watch this now.
Something. Number five, here it is, Dune Part 2. Cannot believe that it's only number 5.
What do you think about just the numbers of it, though? Well, it was definitely my personal favorite movie of last year. I I think it for just a pure live action sci-fi movie where sci-fi overall is still niche.
Yeah.
I think it brought in really good numbers for the sci-fi genre.
So Dune Part 2 was actually my number 2 favorite movie of the year. Deadpool and Wolverine was my number 1.
Oh, okay.
But the line is really thin.
Okay.
Because I really like the Dune movies. Let's see. Number 6, I did see this movie. Wicked.
Yeah, that was good.
Did not show up on my top 10 of the year.
No,
fine.
not. It's not a movie that was necessarily meant for us,
Yeah,
but it was.
That's fair.
It did a good job though, I think.
Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't really my thing.
Right.
Number 7, I did see this one, and it was on my top 10 list. Godzilla, Kong, The New Empire.
I don't even think I ranked the top 10 movies for me. I liked that one though. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I really liked that one. The next 3, I'm just going to do 3 more, so kind of round at the top 10. Sure. These next 3, I have not seen any of these. Number 8 was Kung Fu Panda 4.
I haven't watched.
I'll probably watch when it hits.
It would be Peacock, I think, it would stream on. So
yeah, when it hits streaming, I watch it.
Well, I think it would have been on Peacock for a while now, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Number 9 is a Chinese film called YOLO. Yeah, I don't know anything about this movie.
I don't think I know that one, but hey, you know what? Cool to see Chinese make into the
market. Yeah, definitely. Number 10 of the highest grossing films of 2024 was Mufasa.
I haven't watched that yet.
Which I actually wanted to see, but didn't get around to.
It's still in the theaters. It has legs.
Smirking Bear says that he liked King of Monsters more than New Empire.
I feel like they're kind of flips.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably put New Empire above it though, just because it's a more fun movie.
I will agree with what Joy had to say here. Love Godzilla movies. That one, well, I really liked that movie, but definitely outshined by Godzilla -1. That movie was incredible.
Oh yeah, no, -1 came out and
freaking that was.
It came out. It came to be the best ever Godzilla movie there is, I think. So like, yeah, it beats -1 beats everything in my opinion.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, so that was the 10 highest grossing films of the year. Real quick, I'm going to run down my top 10 favorites.
Okay.
We don't have to talk about these too much, but of course, these are my favorites. So you folks out there will probably not agree with a lot of these. Number 10 was Venom: The Last Dance.
Okay.
Number 9 was Transformers 1.
Ooh, great movie.
Number 8 was Ghostbusters Frozen Kingdom. Number 7 was A Complete Unknown, which is the newest movie to show up on this top 10 list. That was released on Christmas Day. Did you say you wanted to see that?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
It was great. I loved it.
It's not playing in my local theater, and I don't want to go anywhere else for it. So I'm gonna have to wait on that one.
Number 6 was Furiosa.
Okay. Pretty good.
Number 5 was Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Number 4 was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, that was really good.
It was really good. Number 3 was Alien Romulus.
Yes.
And then you guys already know 2 and 1. 2 was Dune Part 2, and 1 was Deadpool and Wolverine. But again, there's a fine line between that number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, if I didn't make a list, but a lot of those would be on mine. Two that you didn't say that would be on mine is I'd probably put The Wild Robot up there for me, and then I would also put up. I think you said you didn't catch it yet. I'd put Nosferatu up there.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. I plan to. It'll at this point it'll probably have to wait till streaming. I did see The Wild Robot, and it was cute, but just I don't know, not good enough for me to make a top 10 list.
Sure.
Bear's Kingdom was a good lore progressive movie for Planet of the Apes universe. See, yeah, I liked that movie, and I really like that entire franchise.
I agree.
With one exception. The only one that I don't really care for is the one that had Mark Wahlberg in it.
Oh, we're talking about that. Wasn't that a Burton movie?
Was it? Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, I've tried watching that one before, and it's just awful.
It was not good. Like, I like all of the originals, and I like all the reboots. Just didn't like that one.
There's not a lot of movies I can't finish, and that's one of them.
It just wasn't good. But yeah, the ones like with Rise of the Planet of the Apes and then War 4 and Dawn, all those are great. I love those movies.
Those are awesome trilogy.
But if you've never seen the originals, man, those are, you really should check those out. They're really good. But I guess that is it for 2024. Let's talk about movies that are coming in 2025. And me and JD did this kind of briefly earlier this year, but I'd have to say, at least for me, the most anticipated movie of the year of 2025 has got to be Superman.
That's it for me. I think nothing comes close for me.
Yeah, that is definitely definitely the movie that I am most looking forward to.
I just pulled up a list. I'm trying to look through to see what stands out.
I've got a list of movies coming out that I am looking forward to. The first one on my list, and I've got them listed like chronologically by scheduled release date.
Okay.
The first one is not a theatrical release, so I don't know if we should count it. But it is Star Trek Section 31.
Oh, nice.
And then Captain America Brave New World comes in February. Looking forward to that one. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm looking forward to this movie, but I'm pretty sure that I will watch it in the theater, and that is the Minecraft movie.
Oh, God.
I will go watch that because I think it's going to be humorous.
There's let me see here. A couple movies you missed for April or March, I'd like to mention. Or March and February. March and February. February 28th is The Day That Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, which is like the first full-on theatrical Looney Tunes movie, like classic Looney Tunes being back, which I think is awesome. Very, very long overdue. My hope is I want this movie to succeed. Now, I'm also kind of a little bitter against this movie, but I also really want it to succeed. I know that sounds weird, but the reason why I say that is because you may have heard of a movie that called Coyote vs. Acme that happened, that filmed. As far as I know, there's just some stuff post-production that they didn't completely finish, and it got tested with really high scores, and then Warner Bros. Completely canned it. There's a big campaign to bring it back. Warner Bros. Was going to supposedly shop it around, but they were being very unfair about that. So it's like, yeah, they technically did, but like they're being really unfair about it. And so but they opted to keep this movie. And so it's like, this movie better be great. And everything I'm hearing about it is that it's a great movie. But I'm hoping this does really well. So they realize that people really do care for the Looney Tunes franchise still.
Yeah.
And even though they write off these movies, just like Batgirl and all of that other stuff that happened, something you may not know is they could bring those movies back. They just have to pay whatever they got from the tax write-off back, and they could use it again. And so I'm hoping that if this does really well, there could be an inkling of hope that that movie could also come back out, because that was one I was personally really excited for and absolutely crushed that what happened to it. And then after that, March 7th, there's a movie called Mickey 17.
I saw a trailer for that. I don't know if I'm going to see that in the theater or not.
I think it looks good.
It looks all right. The next one on my list actually isn't until May, and that is Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Asterix. Really looking forward to that one too. Also in May is Karate Kid Legends.
Yes.
We get the team up of Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan.
That looks really good, actually.
It does look good.
And the week before it is the new Mission Impossible, which I'm looking forward to as well.
I haven't liked any of them since the first one.
Wow. Okay. I feel like that's kind of a hot take right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't liked any of them since the first one.
It's interesting.
In June, we've got a couple of movies. Actually, we have 3 movies. I have 3 movies on my list for June. First one is Ballerina, which is the John Wick universe movie. Next one is 28 Years Later. If you've seen the other ones,
I need to watch the other ones.
Yeah, I like those movies. And then this one, I may or may not see it in the theater. I probably will end up watching it, but it is Megan 2.0.
I never watched the first.
I did see the first one in the theater, and it was a bit disturbing, but in a good way. July, there are actually 3 movies on my list for July. One of them, of course, Superman, most anticipated movie of the year.
Hands down.
Decade, maybe. The other 2, okay, one of them, I may or may not see this in the theater. When the time comes, when I see some trailers, I don't know. Jurassic World Rebirth.
See, I'm really looking forward to that. I feel like a lot of people are. I'm hoping the trailer draws people to it because, I think what a lot of people don't realize about this is the person writing this movie, he's never worked on any of the Jurassic movies since the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
and so I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's going to handle the universe again.
Well, hopefully it does well.
Yeah.
The other movie in July is Fantastic Four: First Steps. Looking forward to that. Next one on my list is not until September, and that is Saw 11. Okay. Love those movies. I love the Saw franchise. It was awesome, and 10 was amazing. 10 was probably the best one since the first one.
It's pretty high remarks there.
So good. October, we're getting Mortal Kombat 2.
Interested in that.
And then in November, this is the last one on my list. To be fair, I haven't looked at any other new releases since I have put this list together. But the one that's coming out in November is Predator Badlands.
Oh, yeah. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And also, and we're also getting an animated Predator movie, I guess, sometime this year as well.
I heard about that, yeah. But yeah, those are the movies that are coming out that I am looking forward to next year or this year.
Nice. There's a lot of stuff I'm interested in that I didn't necessarily shout out, but yeah, there's definitely.
I agree, Tina. They are cheesy, but they are fun.
See, I really enjoyed the new one, and it seemed like almost everybody hated it.
The new Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, the latest one that came out, yeah.
If we're talking about the same one,
It's the one that came out like 2 or 3 years ago.
2021.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I loved that. That movie.
Yeah, I
was
really
great.
liked it.
Yeah, that movie was awesome. Yeah, see, Tina liked it too. And Smoking Bear liked it too. So
I'm glad I'm not in the minority here because it seems like everyone
really,
else I talked to about the movie, they just didn't like it. And so I was like,
yeah, whatever. Those people are weird. Now, I will say that my youngest did go to the theater and watch it with us, but didn't like it because it was too gory.
See, that's Mortal Kombat though.
But that's fair. Yeah, it's just
that's a fair.
Not that bad.
That's
fine.
Exactly, Tina. Exactly.
Those people can slurp shit and die. So there are. So I wanted to talk about coming soon in comics, but there's really only two that I can think of right now. I didn't bother doing a lot of research for this section because I was throwing this show together at the last minute. There's only two that I'm really looking forward to, but I'm sure there are others out I'm just not thinking of. But Batman Hush 2, I'm really looking forward to.
I feel like that's the big one right there.
That is a big one. And then the Ultimate Universe is going to be going through an expansion. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, you know what? The Absolute Universe is also going through an expansion.
I believe the next wave is in March, where we're getting Absolute Flash, Absolute Martian Manhunter, and Absolute Green Lantern. And we actually just got official, I guess you could say synopsises for each of those today. So,
did those come out today?
Well, they didn't like the synopsises, like the 1-2 minute or not 2 minute, 1-2 sentence descriptions of them.
Gotcha.
I actually just saved it here on my phone. Absolute Flash, without the mentor, without the family, without the Speed Force. What's left is the Absolute Scarlet Speedster.
How does it work without the Speed Force?
I don't know. Absolute Martian Manhunter, beyond Mars, beyond physical form, beyond human understanding. All that's left is the Ultimate Alien, the Absolute Martian Manhunter.
See, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. It looks. Yeah, we don't know anything about it other than the cover, but it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And then out of all these, what I'm most looking forward to is Absolute Green Lantern. And that is without the core, without the ring, without the willpower, what's left is the Absolute Green Lantern, which very much like you with Flash, I'm like, I don't quite know how
does that work?
But I'm very intrigued by how all this is going to work.
You know what would make an interesting Absolute comic book, but I'm pretty sure that they're not going to do it because the character is not mainstream enough, I guess.
Sure.
For this, not mainstream like the ones that are already out, but Absolute Shazam.
See, that'd be interesting. I don't know how you tackle it, but I like the idea of it. I know rumor is that there were going to be 7 books, and so obviously that's makes 6 books in addition to the main trinity we have now that's already coming out. And the rumor is the other one could be a team-up book, so people think it could be Suicide Squad. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, that'd be weird.
Because they've been on the record saying they don't want to do Justice League until the characters are built up enough on their own to.
No, I've got it. I've got it. It has to be Absolute Challengers of the Unknown.
All right.
The team that we need a movie of.
Or something I just thought of that I never considered that they could do is a Absolute JSA could be interesting. Or something related with the older superheroes.
Ooh, that gives me another idea. Absolute Hawkman.
There you go. Yeah.
Again, these are characters that not a whole lot of people are reading, so they're not gonna invest in.
See, well, that's the thing, though, is I believe Flash and Green Lantern are ongoing series, but I know Martian Manhunter is only 6 issues. But they said if those sell really well, they will do more Martian Manhunter if it sells well.
See, that makes sense because he's not
You're right.
a marquee character either.
Right. He's like, out of all the main Justice League characters, he's kind of like the one that's not that big.
Are there any other
Marvel has several events coming. Right off the top of my head, there's the big One World Under Doom stuff they're coming out with. There is I know they're doing a Spider-Verse versus Venomverse. Hold on. And then okay. And then something just recently announced a week or two ago. I think a week ago is a Jonathan Hickman book of some sorts called like Imperialis or something like that. I don't remember what it's called, but it needs to be some sort of cosmic Marvel title. And yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued by that though because it's cosmic Marvel, and
yeah,
I don't feel like they have much going on the cosmic side of the universe right now, and their cosmic side is something I've always enjoyed quite a bit of. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, I've really enjoyed their stuff overall from what I've read. I'm trying to think if there's anything else cosmic-wise I've really read. So yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else right offhand. That's big, at least. I don't know. The interesting thing about comics is that, like, sometimes Marvel and DC will tease stuff that's like far out, or certain creators will tease stuff that's far out. But the vast majority of comic stuff you don't know about until 2 or 3 months when solicitations come out ahead of time, or stuff like San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, places like that. Well, there'll be big waves of announcements and stuff. So, it just works differently than like gaming and movies and all that, where you don't know it until so much certain ahead of time. So I can't think of anything else right offhand.
Yeah, I think that might be it. All right. Well, the last portion of our main topic is going to be what is coming to Star Wars in 2025.
Ooh.
There is quite a bit coming. I think the one that I am most looking forward to is Andor Season 2.
That's the only that's the only live action show we're getting. So
that's the only live action TV show that I saw on this list. But we're also getting Vision Season 3.
See, that'll be cool because I've really enjoyed the first two, but
yeah,
it's not like it really hands a whole, like, as great as those are, and those are great anthology stories, that doesn't necessarily hold a candle to the live action epic of what Andor was with Season 1. So we'll see how Season 2 goes.
But yeah, that's I'd say Andor Season 2. Exactly, Tina. Stuff that they don't cancel. They better not cancel Andor.
Well, I know. Andor is only meant to be those 2 seasons, so we'll see.
Yeah, so both of those I'm looking forward to. We also have Celebration Japan coming next year, which I know JD is very excited about.
Giving us the inside scoops there.
He will be able, definitely give us the inside scoop there. I will not be attending, unfortunately, because even before I lost my job, I was not planning to attend because I just can't afford it.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Especially just to go to Japan. On top of that, saving up for a convention in Japan.
Yeah, saving up for the convention, saving up for a plane ticket to get to Japan, then the hotels, and yeah.
It's very expensive, but it sounds great though.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like, I went to Celebration Chicago, and it was by far one of the best experiences I've had.
That's awesome.
It was great.
Love to go to one.
Got a lot of novels coming out next year. The first one I want to mention is the return of the Bad Batch in a novel called Sanctuary. And it's actually Sanctuary, a Bad Batch novel.
Okay.
And it is written by, I don't know if this guy has ever written a Star Wars novel before. Lamar Giles. I'm trying to find what else he has written. He wrote, the only thing that's on his bibliography actually is Star Wars. And he wrote one of the anthology pieces for From a Certain Point of View, Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
So that's going to be released in August. And
sometimes these new writers can make good stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Not really a whole lot of information about this, except it is the return of Bad Batch.
I'll be honest, I didn't know this was a thing. And so until just now. So that's cool.
And I'm trying to find, I don't even see like what time period this has taken place in.
It must have like just gotten announced sometime pretty recent, because I've never heard of this until, like I said, just now.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have. We have an Acolyte novel coming out called Wayseeker.
See, I feel like that could answer some of the questions that I had from the show, but then at the same time, it's Acolyte, so I don't really want to.
Yeah.
At the same time,
so
Acolyte left a very
from
bad.
What I understand, this is going to be focused more on Vanestra Rowe. It is written by Justina Ireland, who has done a lot of Star Wars writing. She's done some really good stuff. That one is going to be released on May 6th. Just trying to see if there's any other information.
So that's why we know nothing about this new Bad Batch one, is because there's like a listing up of it, but like nothing else with it. Like they haven't even really officially per se announced it, just a listing up of it. So keep an eye out for that.
For those of you that are were fans of the Acolyte, you might check that out when it comes out in May.
That's funny, Tina.
Give me a shirtless and pantless Manny Jacinto. Actually, when does the Mandalorian movie doesn't come out until 2026, right?
Yeah, May 2026, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, so the next novel that wait a minute, is this? I'm trying to determine if this is. Well, I guess they're both. I think this is also Acolyte related.
When is it?
This one is a young adult novel called The Crystal Crown. It is written by Tessa Grattan, who has written a lot of the High Republic stuff. And looking at the publisher's summary, this one focuses on the Padawans Jeki and Yord. So this will take place before the events of Acolyte.
Nice.
Yeah. So again, if you're a fan of the Acolyte, you got some Acolyte material coming out next year. All right. Next book is part one of a trilogy. I think we've talked about this on the show before, the Reign of the Empire trilogy.
Yes.
The Reign of the Empire is basically before A New Hope. So it's like Empire era. So I don't know if all three of them are written by the same guy, but the first one is being written by Alexander Freed. It is called The Mask of Fear.
Yeah.
And this first one is told through the eyes of Mon Mothma.
Nice.
Oh, wait a minute. In book one. Okay, actually, I'm getting some conflicting information here. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, no, the first one, the book one of the trilogy, is told through the eyes of Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, and Saw Gerrera.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I was getting another one that said like each one of those was its own part of the trilogy.
Huh.
But
I am seeing, though, that the other books in the trilogy are written by different people.
Okay.
So we'll see how those go.
But yeah, I guess this one takes place during the first year of it says here during the first year of tyranny.
See, I find the purpose here very interesting. This is, out of all the novels, this is definitely what I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to this one. This is this is going to be good. There are also some new comic books coming out this year. There's some High Republic stuff, but the main one that I want to focus on is a comic book series set before the Phantom Menace, and it's just simply called Jedi Knights.
Yes.
And it's going to be written by Mark Guggenheim. Do you recognize that name?
I want to say I recognize it, but I don't know the name to something specifically. But that name, I feel like.
You know what? It just dawned on me that we had this discussion where you were saying that you did not read much Spider-Man stuff. But yeah, he did some writing on some Spider-Man stuff. He did some writing on Daredevil. He did some writing on Punisher, some X-Men. He's done a lot of Marvel, actually. He also actually wrote some stuff for DC as well, but he is going to be the head writer of this Jedi Knight series. So this one's, like I said, is going to take place prior to the Phantom Menace. And let's see if we can get any. The first issue will publish on March 5th. And each issue will follow two different Jedi on a mission with an overarching threat that binds the stories together.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah. So Mark Guggenheim's the writer. The artist is... I really apologize, but I am going to butcher this name. Madabek Musabekov.
That name doesn't sound familiar. So
Hopefully I didn't terrorize that name too much. But yeah, so Jedi Knights.
Very nice.
Starting in March. And let's look. I'm going to look at the article where I got most of this from. It was basically just saying everything coming to Star Wars. Trying to see if there's any other comic books that I'm missing that might be. I mean, it says the story of the High Republic is coming to an end in the comics. The miniseries Fear of the Jedi kicks off in February.
Yeah, a bunch of High Republic stuff.
Basically, the High Republic stuff is going to, in comics, at least in comics, is going to wrap up.
Well, I'd imagine it would in the novels as well, and I don't know what's going on here with the. Well, yeah, okay, it did. We I don't know how much we talked about it, if any, but there was novels as well for High Republic that's coming to wrap it up as well, I think.
Yeah. I can't believe I forgot this one, but yeah, another comic book that is coming out this year is written by Charles Soule, who is a great comic book writer and novel writer. He wrote some of the High Republic stuff. Charles Soule is putting out Legacy of Vader, which is actually set between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And so it says here it will bridge the gap for Kylo Ren. So while, I mean, to be honest, I'm not terribly interested in the material. I do really like the writer. So I will likely read that comic book.
I know it like ties, I think, more directly into the beginning of Rise of Skywalker, because we see him go to Mustafar, or I think that's like in a preview of the comic, and that like ties right into like what we saw at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker there. So we'll see what happens there with that. Be interesting. I'll say this: Charles Soule, he's great. I agree. The only thing of his I've read that I haven't liked though was that other Kylo Ren series he did. I wasn't a fan of that one. The what was it called? The Rise of Kylo Ren or something like that?
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that.
I wasn't crazy about it. Actually, that is all I have for tonight's episode. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, Spencer.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. Always good to talk about what's coming out. Fair bit of stuff I think to look forward to overall.
Be sure to keep your eyes out for more episodes of the Dingus Den as well.
Absolutely. I have a couple videos recorded I need to edit up, so be out here sooner than later. It'll happen. I'll have some time tomorrow probably to really get into it.
Rise of Kylo Ren killed my lady boner. Oh boy. So everybody in the chat, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. And next week, hopefully, we will be doing our Skeleton Crew catch-up show. We're going to have another episode to talk about that comes out tonight. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure that you subscribe if you have not already and like this episode. And if you are willing, please go sign up to be a patron. But that's all for tonight, and we will see you next week.
All right.
Happy Year of the Snake. Thank you, Joy.
Oh, it is. I don't know. It's Year of the Snake. Okay.
Well, thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Later.